to the knockouts.
Alright guys, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, perlawanan MSC lower bracket SRG OG merendah dengan CFU Gaming. Sama-sama kita saksikan perlawanan yang pertama di lane offshore.
Apa aku salah Muhammad Mus? Dah 50-50 bah. Boleh kata 50-50 juga. Tengok dia punya execute dia plan macam mana.
I think that's one of the main focal points to pay attention to.
Sebab rugi lah kalau ambil 3 marksman. Jujur cakap.
Wait a little bit while the players get things situated. Sounds like a possible audio thing for now, but
dia nak kata Laras ke bos? Ya, penetration has.
This has been, I feel like, because of this resurgence of Uranus back into
tapi Balmond buff sebenarnya kan. Balmond sedap tau. Tapi tak ada yang bawa lagi Balmond kan. Balmond sedap. Walaupun kau kena crowd control, contoh kau guna second skill kan, dia still pusing.
It's a risk.
Kau kena knock ke, kau kena petri ke, tak salah aku dia still berpusing. Second skill
it's easy to even dodge the ultimate, you know, the Abysm Strike, but you know, part of it might be just a complement to the lineup that they have, and then you really have to rely on the rest of the team to follow through with whatever setup comes through. But I think now if you consider, okay, if we get a Tsunami Slam off, it's already usually
tak keluar Chang'e lah. Chang'e kena kejar.
The Dairoth is there too, it makes it even easier because you can go ahead and shred down some of the armor. You can line up and get some strike if you want to.
Tapi macam tu je skill apa. Hero dia dah macam tu je lah, macam mana juga kan.
Get the numbers advantage in all these fights that CFU is most likely
to
want to fight with us
skill
because that's what
2
they've shown
Balmond
us
tu. Ya sebab ramai tak guna.
and that could be the game plan in
Mau
game
jungle
1.
ke bah?
I mean, the game
Hero
plan
easy.
really starts with, hey, win our lanes, and then we have
Balmond
these
lagi
like
kebal
really
juga.
nasty small little combos.
Ni season push Balmond sampai kena kutuk. Hero zaman batu. Dah hero tu macam tu kan, macam mana juga.
Specifically the Farsa, and you basically got the game done for at that point. Not to mention that you already have
Tepuk
the
dada tanya Iman.
open up the map even further, right, to overextend those
MM kalau
leads.
nak counter
But that's the thing,
Jerawan.
as soon as they miss one of those ults, they are an ult-dependent composition, and it's kind of like an Arlet where it's like, it's not long enough like a Zetian to care that much, but it's also a huge window that is very exploitable from CFU's side. So, it really boils down to SRG trying to execute perfectly every time they collide or clash against CFU. In terms of the micro and as well as the macro, right? I feel like right now, the two core players on either side that will make the biggest difference, Boxy from the side of CFU, because that Badang, that disruption affects everybody on the team of SRG. But from SRG, surprisingly enough, I'm going to say it's innocent on this Ruby, right? Because his disruption is just as effective, if not game-changing for them.
So if CFU somehow stalls out even the jungle, for example, then they're probably going to have an advantage in the early game. I would say if they can get control, maybe if they can get a snowball going for CFU, this could be one of those games where we've seen them in the past. They get this lead early on, they go out of control, right? And if they don't do that, then it's more so of playing within those timings, those windows of all these ultimates that are being relied on from SRG to actually capitalize on the lineup that they brought. So it's actually an interesting dynamic between the two lineups that will be showcased here in game 1 because of it's almost, you know, if this doesn't happen, then we'll make this happen with CFU, and they go from that point. It's us, by the way.
Don't worry. We're just making sure that you guys know who's on
Padahal
the
TT ke? Tak ada.
desk. Now let's get right
YTFB guys.
into the land.
Gang, mana yang baru masuk jangan lupa bantu saya like dan share dulu guys. Dan mana yang belum bantu saya untuk tekan button subscribe, jangan lupa untuk tekan button subscribe guys. Bantuan korang sangat saya perlukan. Oh, first blood dia dapatkan oleh SRG menghukum Arsa.
He's going to have to go ahead and go back to base. Man, how many times through MSC groups have we had our split screen and then a first blood happens?
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that OP died like that, right? I don't see any battle being used. I think maybe Yum's actually... No, he didn't. He took his... he took the title strike. Interesting. All right, I think this is why we're going into that tech pause. It doesn't make any sense that OP would die in such a manner. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, very, again, I'll still stick with it if that is the case of what happened, because it looks like...
it looks like Detective is the one who's calling it. Yeah, it should be
kalau
audio
jumpa
tech issue.
Kemboja je memang ada problem
It's
guys.
an audio tech issue more than anything else.
Yeah. I know both sides have been kind of dealing with this, so hopefully we get things settled out here for our players, of course, in this very important match. You want to go ahead and get the best start to this best of 3 as possible, but the fact that OP went down early on like that is... it's not. I still don't want to say it's too bad.
Alright,
Okay, we're jumping back
boleh
into the
balik.
game because I still stick to my stance of even if Farsa goes 0-3, we've seen it before. You could still top the damage meters. You could still be very valuable here. So hopefully they adjust quickly from that, because I do expect SRGOG now to go ahead and punish with the fact that they've been able to pick up an early kill.
I mean, talking about early punish, right? With that early kill, it's great for Stormy in particular, but Yums is the one who actually finds the first blood. So that's a huge gold injection for Yums, which is, I'm not going to lie, a little sad, but hey, you know, Conceal is still a very powerful tool, and even if you're able to gain gold to speed that up, it's always a plus point for SRGOG because they want to snowball, right? Every kill within the next 6 minutes of
Ni
the
guys,
game is
ni yang
so
cakap tadi,
valuable.
awal-awal tadi time
Okay,
grafik,
early action still up
dia
here.
kena hukum
Boxes with Wadu, but
Uranus ni
how many
banyak.
people from SRG?
Jadi box sini
OG
banyak
are
room
up
dekat
on
EXP.
top. They gotta watch out. Level 4s aren't completely online yet.
Dia tak nak
They'll
bagi
go ahead and
Uranus ni
make
hidup.
their way
Kalau
to
Uranus
set
ni
up
hidup
for this
susah
turtle.
guys.
And it doesn't look like they're going to go for the level 5
Right,
rush
turtle.
this time round. In
Respawn.
terms of the emblems, I'm seeing a lot of pull yourself togethers from both sides. Right?
Ultimate daripada
Mainly coming
Sky
from
bagi
CFU.
vision.
They're
Eco
going
mungkin
right
Purify telah
for
digunakan.
Obi again, and the Mount
Asada,
Shark
Sky
Don't be
dicari,
lost.
Sky bila ditumbangkan oleh Uranus.
Skies goes down, and now CFU has
Ayo,
control
peluang.
of this
Serang,
turtle.
serang,
Can they
serang.
actually secure
Thank
the
you,
objective?
Nazmia.
Yes, rotating
Betul ke?
up here to
Betul.
join the fight
Alah,
from
balik
Innocent.
kau ni.
Wadu
Iya.
trying to buy some
Betul,
time
reset.
and delay it out, and CFU
Satu zone yang baik
forced
daripada
off the
SRG.
turtle. They bought enough time though to go ahead and contest for
Daripada
it.
airstrike,
Better
daripada
airstrike
Parsa.
will be dropped down.
Flicker
Burnout
telah
of
digunakan
Flicker,
oleh
and
Yum
now
untuk melarikan
still
diri.
fighting for it.
Betul, telah pun
Innocent
dimulakan.
gets called up back to the gold
Sky
lane.
datang kembali.
Skies makes his way. So CFU, how do they approach
Tapi
the fight?
advantage
Wadu
untuk
up
Lancelot,
front.
duk.
Boxy not level 4 yet. Cram will
Sebab dia
keep
nak
him
level
at
5,
bay.
dia ambil stack jungle lagi. Staking dia menang tu. Dan Slot tak ada yang buka. Okay, Turtle dia dapatkan oleh Skies.
Goes in the hands of SRGOG.
Yeah, Detective, he's not going to risk it right now because SRG can basically fight forever. Just Cram and Yums
Innocent.
alone with the duo
Oh,
of Dialogue on top of this Kalia is making it tough.
Tarikan bersama Flicker. Oh, banyak luar. Flicker daripada Stormy. Sedikit terlewat.
Escape and live. He gets away just with the wings by
Oh.
wings.
No way, that could have been a double kill for sure. SRG really needed it, but this is a saving grace for CFU as they take that lead back. Again, every 50-50, if they trade
Kenapa Ruby
equally,
bah?
CFU
Takkan nak main 3
game is
marksman. Kena
technically on
tibai
the
ni
winning
tu. Kan Slot
trade.
awal-awal.
Yeah.
Kenyang tu.
I'm so surprised even after that turtle take, they end up fighting it out in mid, but we're still at this pretty much even space, but Zhang getting a kill is great for him, especially I don't think he has his Sky Piercer just yet, but maybe he rushes, what is it, Hunter Strike and then Sky Piercer for most Grangers?
Yep, for most Grangers is Hunter Strike and then into the Sky Piercer. The early damage from the Sky, the early damage and most importantly
Chris
the
Lane
passive
dilakukan oleh Innocent.
coming in from
Granger
that Hunter
cuba
Strike
untuk
really
mengcutting
helps.
lane.
It's so easy to proc for someone like Granger. With the Rhapsody, you already get like a bunch of shots off. You just need to land a couple of them and maybe even weave in an auto attack depending on how many shots, skill shots you hit.
Padang beri bantuan ke arah
How should this
Granger.
lane be anyway for Innocent? Isn't this a really difficult lane to be on a Ruby and going against a Granger who has obviously a range advantage against you?
No, because your sustain is so ridiculous, right? As long as there is a wave, Innocent can basically go from like 50% of his
Late
HP
game
back to
annoying
100
Uranus
in a
ni.
single wave, and that's pretty annoying for Zing, but what is he really going to do about it, right?
Yep. I like this too. You see, with most Kalea games, they're forced to take 3 Purifies for CFU Gaming to deal with those setup potentials from either side, whether that's Yums or Innocent later on even. And down to the traction pull. So
Profit
for
Roger
this,
tak
the
boleh
Turtles
juga
gonna be
kebal.
up second one in the game. Both teams getting a position for this
Roger.
one.
Hunter Strike already completed for
Tak
Sakai.
saran lah guys.
This next turtle is going to be interesting.
Wadu,
Oh,
will he
Wadu.
survive this?
Free
He does
five.
have to
Belum
jump on
digunakan
out.
lagi.
Pops the
Just
concentrate.
menggunakan ulti.
Refine goes and regens up. Buff's going to be secured there.
Memang
So
Ishan tak pakai War X ke?
they'll
Tengok
go
orang
for
tu.
this turtle. It's going to be started up by SRG. They have
Ultimate.
complete control right now. But
Daripada
Yums going to be jumping on in.
Sky, down. Ditumbangkan. Combo pada badang. OP juga ditumbangkan. Oh, combo. Oxy down. Nice, triple kill dia dapat oleh Cram.
Beautifully played by SRG OG and also CFU Boxy as well as Wadu.
Lambat pula reflex Sky hari ni,
All have the same mindset. We take out Sakai, so there's a good chance we win this fight. Look at this engagement. Great coming from Boxy, locking them all down with Wadu to kind of slow and set this up indirectly. But
second skill.
Innocent makes a play of his own with
Yeah.
the I'm offended and also the taunt catching 3 players. Oh, well done from both sides.
Hey, you said it earlier, Gideon. You know, the
Semi,
combination with that I'm offended and then having the Dairoth there
T-Rock ni, geng.
lines things up also perfectly just for him to go ahead and pop out this damage.
Weh, lama ni. Tolong bantuan. Bapak naik banyak gila nyawa dia.
Completely fine. Rest of the team's gonna now jump on in. There's the
Kick
Tsunami
off.
Slam.
Tsunami Slam. Aduh, Stormy pula kena halang dengan boxy pula.
And they're forced off.
Oh!
But Zing goes down.
Skies
It was a
menumbangkan
2v1
Granger.
bottom lane.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. I was falling for the smoke and mirrors. I was like, what the heck is Yunus doing? Why is he trying to go for a Tsunami Slam? He just saw Cram use the Abysm Strike anyways, and then the attack down on bot side. So CFU's attention really pulled to the initial big ult and big resource utilized. So a very nice feint by Yums.
Yeah, great play there. That's going to get them that tier 1 in the bottom. This tier 1 in the mid basically is going to go down as well. It's 1 HP away. So CFU will shift things over to go ahead and grab these buffs. We haven't seen Detective be able to do too much just yet.
Memang naik nyawa dia kan.
At a position where it's like we got to catch up
Atas
here.
ni banyak
You know,
public
nothing
kena
too
jerat bah.
crazy, but
Habis lah.
especially in the XP lane, like you said, with this Dairoth pick having a lead against the Uranus, I think this is just a difficult lane for Wadu to even be in. So once the Uranus is shut down like this, like where do you go from there?
Yeah, well, technically the Uranus isn't shut down. It's just not as fast as Cram, who currently is able to apply a lot of pressure, but he's ultra sustainable, right? When I say ultra sustainable, there just isn't enough burst damage from the side of CFU unless they bring OP into the mix. Without OP, it's tough.
Okay, we'll see. They're going to be forced off. That's going to be 3 for 3 for the Turtles here. So even
Turtle, perfect turtle untuk SRG, tarikan kena ke arah Uranus. Masih lagi ada pre-fight.
I mean, he has to pop the Consecrate to be okay. So they still hold on, but losing another objective, and all this leading to basically losing more grounds economically to SRG.
Right now, CFU, without all of their item power spikes, taking prolonged fights against SRG is really tough because their base damages are significantly better, right?
Yeah.
Cram in particular is ultra sustainable, especially if he's hitting multiple people with his third hit. Now we look at the items,
siapa
right?
tanya tadi?
Okay, so
Pak Syashin tak buat war axe ke? Tu dia buat.
T2 boots, which is probably why we're seeing Innocent survive so long in lane, on top of the war axe, on top of the Queen's Wings.
4,000 golik guys
Really
Agaknya SRG dalam keadaan baik sekarang ini.
right? How many I'm offended can he actually land? And the longer this game actually drags out, the better it is for CFU Gaming, because then it kind of narrows down the approach of who should we attack, because Cram will start to fall off, and then Skies becomes a bigger priority.
We'll see them trying to hold on to this. Again, they're just going to clear things out, and buying time would be great. Zing does have that Sky Piercer now too. Detective picks up the Brute Force, so he's got the couple items we've talked about a lot about the Lancelots. For now, it just seems like he's going to go ahead and play the macro game. Push some of these lanes in, see if he can get some extra damage on these turrets. But ultimately, he also doesn't want to get caught out because he could be in a tough situation against someone like a Dairoth if he has to go against it. Or the amount of crowd control can be overlapped on each other to even catch a Lancelot. So he has to go ahead and respect that. You're 30 seconds away from this Lord. We haven't seen them really have a favorable fight for the Turtles. So I don't know, we think CFU Gaming is in a position to actually contest the Lord.
Betul lah, dia nak beli ni je, War X. Brute Force ni mungkin dia nak beli Radiant kot.
Sorry, with the Malefic Roar,
Sebab dia
he should be
HP.
able to cut through anybody who has an antique cuirass. However, there's not a lot of armor being stacked up from the side of SRG. The only person he can really find value with that Malefic Roar is probably just Cram.
Yeah.
But even then, that's assuming Cram is by himself and he's not in melee range of CFU. I think right now, CFU Gaming need to make sure
Alright,
that
lag pertama.
and as well as Zing are in favorable spots, because if they
Dimulakan
die
oleh
out
Cram.
first and the fight goes longer than like closer to a minute, SRG will eventually
Second skill tu
overtake.
bapak banyak gila naik nyawa dia, kau tengok ah.
They're going to be zoned here, though,
Life
too. They gotta
steal,
respect
D-Rod.
this crowd control.
Oh, he got cancelled.
Already, yeah, got cancelled. There's a Tsunami
There's
Slam
right.
again. They'll be able to find Boxy.
Lot dia dapat kali Skies.
Survives a little bit longer, but the
Yung
Lord
flicker.
already secured by SRG, and now
Wadu.
it's a mega kill for Cram.
OP down. Menggunakan Parsa. Uranus down. Ditumpang oleh Stormy. Innocent masuk.
After everyone goes down, I don't know if he's
Cram
gonna
masuk. Oh, baik. Innocent. Dan juga Cram.
Oh my goodness, these games
Inner
are
Cram ke,
nasty,
guys?
and our bystanders here, part of the team, they're all they're surprised. Innocent is like, man, this marksman player, what is up with it?
Dia simpan flicker sampai dia dah kan.
This fight, you can see that Cram immediately is targeting that back line. This is the big problem I am seeing from CFU. Yes, you are getting Boxy to engage on these fronts, but you're not taking the neutral objectives anyway. So why don't you just peel? Just keep on peeling.
Yeah.
Keep
Stop
your
second
two
skill,
cores
dash,
where
dash,
Opie apply a lot
bom.
of damage
Ulti flick,
against the
baik.
front line of Selangor Red Giants. Because in these prolonged
Mahal.
fights, Selangor Red Giants are in your face, in melee range. That's how they sustain.
It's gonna be again. They still got the shields, but I think they're
Oh,
forced to
pick off.
fight anyway. Tsunami Slam's gonna be able to find it.
Kerana sudah ditumbangkan.
Yunus does go down. They're held off for now.
Yum juga
It's
terpaksa
a trade
tukar
though.
trade
The
nyawa.
1-for-1, they'll clear out the Lord. They lost the shield, but CFU Gaming will still stay in it. They find themselves 8,000 gold behind now.
Apa
Do they
itu
have
gol?
enough to bring it
11
back into
minit
this? This
ni,
is
guys.
a big deficit. We've seen it before
Sah.
though. And again, they're going to have to just find themselves a favorable pick-off, maybe fight.
Sekali
but
putar dia
they
sekali
got a
penuh
lot of
darahnya.
grounds to cover here.
Right now, Opie, he's scaling. Once he gets that third item, he's going to be an absolute menace here. It's going to be such a problem. Same goes for Detective when he gets that endless battle, because then his burst is going to be just enough to take on the squishies from the side of SRG OG Esports. Now, if we take into consideration what happened into that last pickoff, right? We see Yums, he grabs over Wadu. Wadu ends up dying, but Opie is able to get major.
Oh, aduh.
They're going to force it anyway.
Terpaksa guna purify.
The purple buff does
Ada extract juga
no.
telah digunakan. Ultimate. Oh, Kram. Beli immortal. Ada follow up, ada follow up. Okay, memang tak nak masuk guys. Takut lagi jauh mistake dia. Konsil. Jangan pecah, jangan tinggal gitu sangat. Tarikan off handed. Sumpah masuk balik duk. Sumpah masuk balik duk. Oi, baik bodoh Innocent. Tsunami Slam. Lancelot. Lancelot tak ada dash. GG. Baik. Fighting baik duk. Bapak nyawa gitu duk.
SRG says no.
Oh my goodness, really nicely
Hey!
played. Cram, yes, I agree. He made the initial mistake. Detective.
Pak Ruby counter lane sebab Ruby ni senang cerita. Dia bukan counter lane, dia counter banyak assassin.
Oh, they're gonna force it anyway. They want to end the game.
Oxy
if they
down.
can.
Oh, ni nampak kena end ni. Oh, lasik
Only
pasal.
1 HP, but they got a canyon minion. They'll push in this
Wadu
bottom
hidup,
wave.
wadu hidup.
Sing is back up. And SRG looks like they might just go ahead and disengage from this. They got the Lord coming up in 10.
Loot,
Beautiful
loot.
stuff coming out from SRG. Now they're setting up for that checkmate angle.
Itu kan Ruby dah tarik gitu kan. Kalau tak masuk kan, memang GGW space bodoh tu.
9,000
gold lead.
that Sakai's damage is through the roof, and CFU must take him out first. Cram is manageable now, but they must play with their poke.
Oh, macam tu cara lock dia.
That's what their whole
Sap,
comp is
sap,
all
belakang,
about. Yes,
belakang,
they're insane,
sap.
but you can only do it if there's a wave in front of you. If you are in melee range, there's a lot of conditions for SRG to check off the checklist to make it happen. But CFU, if they just, you know, tickle their toes a little bit, it will eventually cost a finger for SRG.
Man, still, I think after that last fight in the mid lane, you're almost
Ruby
like
dah just spell
hesitant
Vemba.
to even
Tu
go
direct
forward
lagi.
and follow Boxy, because it's like, if Innocent's the target, he's just going to heal back up here. And so we see this conceal going to be used. They go for the target.
Ada strike, Wadu hampir tumbangkan.
Pops the consecrate.
Dia cuba lompat. Oh, dia berhenti kan. Cantik set tak daripada boxy tu. Tapi boxy jadi tumbangkan, mungkin goal lead difference. Pick off. Oh, Lancelot down. Keluar cerah untuk SRG menamatkan game pertama. GG guys. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, SRG OG 1 CFU Gaming. Awesome. Nice try untuk CFU. Congratulations to SRG. Semoga 2-0 lah guys Mudah-mudahan. Amin. Jangan lupa like, comment, share bagi pendapat korang pasal draft pick ni dan gameplay diorang. Yang paling penting guys, jangan lupa subscribe guys. We gonna see you guys after this for the game 2.